Hello, today is August 1st, 2019. We're here in Mr. Kenneth Lee's office to do a second interview with him. I'm Tiffany Sloan.
I'm Akil John Lagata.
And this is Mr. Kenneth Lee. And so, Mr. Lee, can you kind of talk about how you got involved with Houston's local government? And had this always been a goal of yours?
Sure. I think involved with the local government was experience. When I helped my uncle to open the first Asian grocery store on Bel Air, and of course we at that time we target our customer as the main is from speak Chinese. So we put a Chinese sign mainly on the building with a very little English sign. So then the local media and the local residents began to wonder what's this sign about, and then create. I remember at that time, then there's some languages, some articles about, well, Asian driver, they don't know how to drive. It's like little Saigon right now. They don't even know it's Chinese or Vietnamese. It's kind of a miscommunication. So we decide we need to involve with the local government. Well, the best person to start with is, of course, our council member in the district. I remember the John Gunner, very nice, young, but not young, old Caucasian, lives in the shop center. So we counted him, and then we just showed them what we did, and then of course, we just realized we have to really get involved with the local government. So at that time, I think maybe I was young, and then people always be kind of a spokesperson for our community. And also I started to involve with a lot of other political organizations. It's like I remember something like voter registration, encourage Asian to vote, the early movement on that. And so that is the beginning of that. So I think the real I think one of the main reasons I got more involved with the local government is when Mayor Bob Lanier was first elected, and then I think I was very involved with his campaign, and also then he encouraged all the Asians to serve on different advisory board for the city. So they nominate me since I'm in the real estate business. So they they nominate to be serving on the planning commission. So that's how I really involved with the local government. I think that's the reason. And of course, before that, I was involved with the federal, like when George Bush Sr. running for the president, or George W. running for the governor. At the time we, as a community, we always try to unite it to endorse someone that we think will be to be involved with the local politics. So I think that's the beginning of that. Yeah.
And could you talk about your experiences being the only Asian serving on the Houston Planning Commission?
Well, I just feel it's a learning process for me, and of course, being the first Asian serve on that commission, I just realized it's not just the position I have. It is the relationship with other commissioners serving on the board. Is also very important. And I was not very experienced at that time because I'm the youngest too. And at that time, there's a lot of developers, and then or lawyers, and which I learned a lot from them. And also, I realized that, as American, when you involve with a lot of things like real estate development, you have to thinking about how you get government involved, and that is plant a good seed for me is to form a TERS or form a management district in the later time. I remember very clearly is I was amazed that when there's a variance come up, and then it's always like a town hall meeting or a lot of people or the residents come to our meeting either to support or to against, to voice their opinion, which it never happened in our community. Right? We just accept and observe, either say it's good, but normally, we didn't do it that way. So that's something that I learned is a democracy. So I think that gave me a very good experience. So I think to me it is a very good. I think it's a volunteer job. But it's very good position to start with, and then after that, I was always involved with more like a local government, either election or politics or whatever. But for instance, I was chairing the thing at that time called the Mayor's International Trade Office for the Asia Pacific, and I always either lead a delegation or or with the mayor to visit some countries and to promote Houston. Yeah, there's another way. I just feel, I'm proud of Houston, and I will always try to promote Houston.
And so, serving in this position as being on the Houston's Planning Commission,
Yes.
Did you feel particularly responsible or like you had a duty to Houston's growing Asian American population?
In a way, yes or no. Yes is, I always feel Asian need to be represented. And so this position is very important to Asian, especially, Asian, they have a very close, I think, bond with the real estate. They always love to buy real estate. So every Asian, either buy houses or buy land or commercial properties, and we have to know the system. And so in that way, I just feel it's a representation, and also I feel and that's why after my term, I think I always wish to have always have an Asian in that position. I think until now, I don't see. Maybe there's a South Asian serving on that, but always we try to to fight for a position over there. So the same thing with with Houston Police Department. We always try to have an Asian, at least assistant chief, to be in that position. Yeah. So I think that's my feeling. Does that help the Asian real estate development when serving on that? Not in my term. It's because during the 90s, there's not too many Asian developers. Only a few. They have to come to the planning commission meeting to talk about their cases or the variance, Yeah, so not in that field, but if they have a problem, they will if they ask me, I always will just communicate with the planning department or whatever. So I think that maybe help, yes.
And how many mayoral administrations did you serve under?
This one only one term with the Lanier, and after that, I was stepped down, and then maybe it's a change of the mayor. I can't remember. Yeah. So after that, I think maybe in the Lee Brown administration, then I was invited to be to the what do you call that, to the mayor's international trade organization and the mayor's office. Yeah, so stay there till Mayor Parker, and then Mayor Turner, he just transformed that into a different organization. So I'm on his I think it's on the advisory board. Yeah. So so during that time, I helped to organize this tours and then the management district. Yeah.
And so Houston as a city is known for its lack of zoning laws.
Yes.
And so I was wondering how this aspect of Houston impacted your work as a member of the Planning Commission.
Okay, that's a good question. When I first got appointed, at that time it's still called the Planning and Zoning Commission. So it's a voters. I think they voted down to abolish the zoning, and then so we become the Planning Commission. So even though we don't have a zoning, I think it's the good things is it give the city a chance to grow. You don't have too many restrictions, only by the deed restrictions, and then by the city's how should I say, by the city's regulations and the permits. So they still have some kind of restrictions, but good for developers because you can see that because there's no zoning, you can do according to whatever the neighborhood needs, and then without you have to go to the city to apply for a particular zone. So in that field, I think in the from the 80s and the year 2000, I think at that time Houston need a lot of development, and so I think that policy I think is at that time it's a voters' decision, and so if you ask me the impact, I only experienced the later part without zoning. And then when I was active in the real estate business, I didn't feel the impact of the zoning, and then we just abolished that system, So I know it's very hard to bring it back once it's been abolished. So that's my comments about this zoning and planning. Yeah.
And so, as a leader of the Houston community who's involved with local government, have you ever been approached by the governments of China or Taiwan to establish partnerships?
Well, when you say partnership, let's put it this way. I consider myself as a Chinese, and also I'm American. So on the culture side, I think I was more towards Taiwan, and also known as Republic of China. So, and then about the China, I just feel it is the origin of all the Chinese. Is from China, but not the communist China, right? but they are changing, you know. So the main reason I visit China or have any joint venture mainly is for the economic and business reason. And with Taiwan, because I was born over there, so of course it's got a more stronger feeling. And but I moved to U.S. since the '80s till now. So actually, this is the place I live the longest time. So it's a mixed feeling, but I do consider myself as a uh, international business people because I travel to Taiwan and China a lot. Yeah.
And then, if there were economic joint ventures that you did form, would you be able to talk about those partnerships?
Well, yes and no because all the partnership, I can say most are not very successful. The main reason is for business, you have to be really stay in that region and then just run the business yourself. You cannot just joint venture and then you leave that place and have somebody else to run that unless you have a good partner, you know. So that's my experience. It's not really the opportunity. You also need a good partner to work with, you know. And then unfortunately I didn't find a good partner on that. So but I still want to do that because I think there's a great potential, and especially on the business side, if we can create a win-win situation, it's going to benefit more people. You know, for instance, in the recent years, I would like to bring more business to Houston, either in manufacturing or factory from Taiwan, because I think that will also increase the job opportunities, and to bring to Houston, and then so that's something that I'm working on, and I truly believe that Texas, especially Houston, is a much favorable place than other parts of the U.S.
And do you feel as though there's kind of a stigma against accepting these types of partnerships from countries such as China or Taiwan?
Can you say that question again?
Yeah. Do you feel as though there's a type of stigma against people partnering with organizations that are funded by China or maybe Taiwan?
You mean local? I don't understand the question.
Do you feel as though people in the United States, whether they're working in government or in business, they're kind of hesitant to partner with different organizations that are funded by the governments of these other nations?
I think maybe it's a perception or whatever. Of course, I mean, you have to be careful. I mean, what organization you're dealing with, and to me, I think I think I'm pretty careful about that because I'm local. I have my reputation, integrity. I have to be careful to see who I'm dealing with, especially from a partnership. So I think it's more political than the economic. When I say more political than economic is, I think some of the politicians, they are very careful. When there's a tension between these two countries, I mean, like the United States and China, well, then they try to avoid. I say avoid is try to avoid to get involved, with the delegation or talk about the business. I think one of the perception of the public is sometimes I just feel the media didn't cover. They thought the foreign capital is to take away the interest and the jobs from America, which I said, you look at Houston, 25% were born outside USA, and everybody come here, they are not taking away the jobs. Most of them, they bring their assets, bring their knowledge, bring their expertise, and then contribute to this country. And you can see that in Houston. So it is a plus, it's not a minus. But unfortunately, I didn't see any positive or more positive coverage about the contribution of the immigrants, to this country, and then that's why I feel why Houston grow so well and then so much than the other metro city is because of diversity, and you can see even in the whole Texas, Houston is pretty unique, and so I think. You said to me, what's the impact? I think it's kind of I shouldn't say manipulated, but it's kind of I feel all this joint venture, we should encourage more international capital to this city, and then to create more jobs. And to make this city even better, and that's one of my wish. Yeah.
And so, are there any organizations that you participate in that are funded by the government of China or maybe even Taiwan?
None. Actually, I donate a lot of money when there's a natural disaster to both countries. Yeah. None of my organization I formed got subsidy from the government, and because most organization I either formed or involved is more local or nationwide, and then of course we need sponsors, but the sponsors I think I couldn't say 100%, but it should be 99% is from the USA. Yeah.
In our last interview, you mentioned that when you came to Houston,
Yes.
The original Chinatown was in downtown. That was the
Yes.
one that preceded the one in Southwest Houston today.
That's right.
What do you remember about the original Chinatown?
Well, when I was in Houston in the early '80s, I remember that's in the Southwest. I went to HBU. I still have to drive downtown Chinatown every week, and to buy groceries. I remember there's a small theater, and then a lot of hometown food. At that time, the old Chinatown, we now call it, is mainly is from the business people from mainland China, from Canton, the original immigrants from China, right? So, and that market also controlled by those people because they've been there for a long time, almost, 50 or 60 years. And so that actually was, at that time, all the Chinese population, they are using downtown as the hub, so you can live north, south, or whatever, because as long as it's close to downtown, until they moved to the Southwest. Yeah, so one of the reasons we opened the store in Southwest is that time there's no space in downtown for us. So that's why you have to develop a new area, and that's why we pick up the Southwest. At that time, Sharpstown and Alief are very strong middle class neighborhood, and so we just feel that's a good spot. Yeah.
What do you think? You said the old Chinatown is no longer existent. What do you think happened to it that made it disappear?
Well, because of the late 90s, 80s, I'm sorry, and then till 90s, and then I mean it's almost like a ghost town because the old Chinatown have some it was older building, no planning, and then a lot of warehouse in that area. So I think it's because of the economy, and the people just feel it's in downtown, and a lot of people they don't drive so far anymore. So people start to move to the southwest, and then the Vietnamese population they are originally they are in Midtown, and they also start to migrate to the southwest. So I think that's the reason it changed. Yeah. So the old Chinatown just kind of fade away, and then the crimes go up because it's so much vacant building until the Dynamo, the soccer field being built up, and then they become I think redeveloped again, and now you can see there's a lot of dining places, bar open up, and but you don't see that Chinese business like before. Yeah.
How do you think the local governments of other cities and other states can be more welcoming or encouraging of growing Chinatowns elsewhere?
Well, I think Chinatown is not really, I would say, it's not a geographical term, So when we call ourselves Chinatown, is in every international city, you will see a Chinatown, because I mean in the old days, they don't allow Chinese and the Asian to go outside a boundary, but naturally they group, and then they form a Chinatown, and then originally it's catering to Chinese, now it's to everybody. And it's really, when you say, wow, how you welcome, how the other city will welcome the Chinatown concept, I think it's not easy. Like Houston, the Southwest Chinatown formed. We don't plan to form a Chinatown. It just grows naturally. When we started the first grocery store on Bel Air, and because of the late 80s, the real estate market crashed. But it's not my theory. The international capital, they wouldn't affect by the local economy. So a lot of Asians start to come, mainly as the Chinese come to buy the real estate, and that keep the value, stable. I shouldn't. I'm thinking without if there's no Chinatown on Bel Air, Sharpstown and Alief will maybe even get worse because nobody gonna move, and then just like those apartments, you're going to own by a lot of out-of-state owner, foreign owners, become a rental property, a rental subdivision instead of a residence subdivision, and which is proves right. I mean, Sharpstown, because of the Chinatown, they sustain their values, and then if you compare the district that we created, the mall going down on the value a lot, but west of the district in Chinatown, we keep on building, and then increase the value, increase the tax revenue, help the economy to growth. Did the city help this a lot? I think we have to fight, because the reason we create the tourist or the management district is, I should say, we didn't get too much government funding, and that's why we have to create this district to help us. And then we issue the bond with the city approve, and then our value goes up. Then we can have the capacity to pay those debt and then fund this project. It's about, I think, Bel Air costs about 20-25, Fountain costs maybe 20, so about $45 to $50 million, you know. So all this, to put this, the local government had to, and also work with the local people to make it happen. Is it easy? No, because I think the heroes for Chinatown is not the developers only, it's the banks. Bank is a very strong force. I remember when we come to the United States, there's no Asian bank. So it's very hard to get a loan from the bank for Asians. And even before that, our Lee family, we have a credit union because they couldn't get any money from anybody. So they have to form a credit union to help people to buy cars, to buy homes or whatever. So, and then the restaurant, and then also a lot of community center, language school is all around this area. Unless you can have this kind of compound all glued together, it's not qualified to call a Chinatown. It's not like a shopping center or 2 shopping centers or maybe 10, but without the other supporting bodies. You know, you can see that CCC serve about, the Chinese Community Center, they serve about, used to be 10,000 families. Now with the new senior center form, they're going to serve 18,000 families. And there's a lot of things that happen, and then I think we call that part of the Chinatown. So Chinatown, I'm just thinking, it used to be a geographical, but it can be just a kind of a marketing or concept. The Chinatown in Houston actually serve not only Houston, but all the city in the South. From Oklahoma City, from Louisiana, and you know, they all, Arkansas, they all come here, and then during the holidays, during the weekends. So it's not just for the local people only, yeah, because it is a really, you know, people can find everything they need, you know, from their hometown before, yeah.
In your opinion, what improvements do you think still need to be made to Houston's Chinatown?
Well, I think the improvement will be, Chinatown is not only for Asian. Chinatown is for everyone. Especially, you know, we have 6.9 million in the Metro Houston area. If you go beyond the Southwest Houston, you don't feel Houston is so diverse. You have to come to this area. And then when we talk with the visiting bureau, they said, you know, to visiting their site, actually it's more local Houstonians want to know more about Houston. Those are newcomers, and they don't know there's a Chinatown here. So I told all the business here, you know, we have estimate 300,000 Chinese American here, but we have 6.9 million Houstonian, which market is bigger. So we should work together to promote this. Is like every Chinatown in the world is not only a place to eat, but it's also a place to experience the Asian culture. So this will be a direction that we want to work with the city, and so that's why we funded a program called Asian Heritage Tour with the CCC, and of course it's just a beginning, and we want to expand the program to have more people really experienced. You know, we went to the it's very diversified because hill crop you have South Asian, right, and then we have all kind of temples, the Buddhist temple, Indian, Muslim, whatever. It's very it's all within the district, and people can experience all this, and including the food. So that, I think that should let more people know about this. Yeah.
You have also mentioned trying to rally up the Asian vote in Houston to pass policies that would both benefit Chinatown but also Asian American communities in general.
Yes.
What do you think keeps Asian Americans from the polls, from voting?
Well, I don't know, but if you ask me why, I think the people from China, they don't have too much knowledge about democracy because they have over 90% voting rate, but they only have maybe no choice. You have to vote for someone. So I think it's a culture-wise. And then another main reason is as a new immigrants, you want to establish in this country, you have to work very hard, day and night, 7 days a week. You don't really have too much time to involve with the politics. It takes time. Right? You have to go out to vote. You have to really understand the issue, and then you have to cast your vote. It takes time, you know. I always joking about we are 200 years late than the first immigrants to America. So there's a lot of catch up we need to do. The number one thing is, I mean, in most Asian thing is economics. I have to be financially independent, and then have their kids to get a higher education. But always, most of them encourage them to be either a lawyer or a doctor or some professional engineer, or very few people say, oh, you need to be a politician. You know, they just think politician is in Asia they feel it's dirty, it's not honest. You know, only a few, but maybe that's one of the reasons. And the second thing is they think Asian is a minority. My vote is not important. So it's all excuse, you know, and that's why I told my friends the next thing we need to do is to encourage our people to vote for the future, for our next generation. We should have a voice on that, and I feel it's changing because I believe in the next few years, as more and more Asian will come forward, to either have their own campaign or and they will encourage more people to vote.
Do you think the Asian vote is pursued sufficiently by political candidates?
I can say yes because I remember there's two, I think, a swing vote effect when Lee Brown and then Parker, when they run their re-election, they win by a very marginal, but I think the Asian votes should help them a little bit, not just the money, but also the votes. So I think it's will be more and more important. Yeah.
Are there other ways that you've tried to get the younger generation of Asians and Asian Americans involved in the community besides voting or mobilizing them to vote?
It's not easy, but we are working. You know, we do have some younger generations start to come forward, and then we always try to not only sponsor their events, but also give them some opportunity to to do some functions, and so I think we do, and I think every organization is trying that. and like a CACA, OCA, and some this nationwide organization, 80/20, you know. And I remember Jin Woo was when he was an attorney, and then he's a volunteer about 80/20. He even put the flags on the street, and then he got involved with the with the state rep elections. So I mean his votes did not just come from Asian, but from everyone. But of course, I think our my goal is I may not endorse all the Asian American candidates, but I definitely I contribute for all their campaigns. You know, doesn't matter he's from whether from China or from Taiwan or from India or wherever. As long as it's Asian, I just support them. Yeah, I think we should do that.
In the last interview, you mentioned that you hope that your children, your grandchildren, can always go back to Taiwan and connect back to their roots and know where you came from.
Yes.
How concerned are you that the next generation of Asian Americans are drifting away from their roots and that they might not be able to recognize the needs of Chinatown or the residents of Chinatown or recent immigrants from Asia?
Well, you know, sometimes, yeah, it's my wish, and I think a lot of my friends, they have the same kind of the wish, but it's not easy. Only a few success. So if you ask me how, I think after 2 or 3 generations, it's going to. I mean, the good thing is they'll become truly American. You know, the sad thing is about my feeling is, can American accept them as American, right? I remember when Andrew Yang, one of the president candidate, he came to Houston, right? A lot of people say asking, even though he was born here, right? He went to the Chinese school in the weekends, so he learned. I think he can speak a little bit the Mandarin. But people just thinking, he's still thinking, well, he's thinking he's American, but people thinking, well, he's a Chinese until, certain ways. I think it's not, well, it's hard to change. And so I just feel, like my son, they say, I think he think he's American. Yeah. But I just don't know. If you go to some other place, maybe Houston is diversified, and then But if you go to other city, there's not too many Asians. Will he feel the same way? I don't know. Well, that's thing. When I say go back to Taiwan to learn the culture, and then in the past. Almost 20 years, Taiwan is also changing, right? Because you try to be independent, and then there's a fight between the Taiwanese parties, and what I learned when I was in the school in Taiwan is not totally, but it's some changes about our heritage, you know, and. We're all from China originally, but maybe the young people thinking, well, Taiwan and China were different. We are independent, right? It's because of political change, and that's why Taiwan is divided politically. Some people are thinking we are still Chinese. We are thinking, well, we need independent, but basically it's still it's Confucianism. So. If you visit Taiwan, you can feel, the difference between the people in China and the people in Taiwan. And then when I say different is, it's not the politeness. I think it is the heritage, just inherited for the past generations, And then China, after the Cultural Revolution, I mean, they have a big change in their culture. And especially I think Taiwan is you still call it still is a democracy. It's more freedom. So people have more freedom. What I want my kids to learn is want to see where I'm from, and then hope these things they'll be interested in learning more, and just my wish, yeah.
Regarding the stability and longevity of Chinatown, how confident are you that the next generation will continue to advocate and improve what you've built here?
Well, I think the longevity is, I believe that Chinatown will never sink. Chinatown will keep on growing. You see that from all over the United States. The downtown Chinatown in Houston is probably is one of the exception. Because you need the leadership, the timing is everything, and you need the support. If Old Chinatown during that time they can accept, non-Cantonese Chinese to help them and joint venture with them, instead of just holding and then wish America to happen, and then you have to work together. I think during that time they also lost their leader, Bobo. I remember Bobo Yi at that time, and then he died because I think cancer or whatever. So there's not another leader to come to lead everybody. So it's kind of just fade away, and then they didn't work with the local government, try to see how to improve the safety. They don't have a management district, and I think it helped. I think as long as we have the management district and the tourists, and include the Chinatown in their development, it should be a long time, and I hope the future owners of these shopping centers or the surrounding property also have the vision to keep this, keep this area, which I think they should, just for the economic reason. It is a valuable asset for a lot of people, and then the business is in very high competition, so everyone try to present the best they can, and then to make the business good. So all this will I think will become the momentum for that. So that's why I said if I can help to promote this area as a tourist spot, and then that should even make it better, So to me, it's not easy to create the one like this. So it's not easy to fail unless the whole area. But you can see it's not just a Chinatown. Houston Business Journal said Bel Air from west of the Gessner is a Asian business corridor, and then people also call this an Asian town because not just Chinese anymore. You can see most of the Asian culture is here. Yeah, all the way to Highway 6. So you can see it's 6 miles. How can you let the 6 miles economy go down? I don't see that's. I think there's very slim chance. I think this area will keep on going and then keep on booming.
In the last interview, you mentioned working with other Asian American organizations.
Yes.
To try to get the United States Census to recognize Asians as a separate racial group.
Yes.
Could you talk about that process and maybe the difficulties that you
Sure.
had to encounter?
Well, actually, I think quite a few other organizations tried to do that. So this organization was called ARIA, Asian Real Estate Association of America. And we formed in Houston back to the, I think, 2001 or 2. And then expanded, and then now the headquarters is in San Diego. And I think now it's 40 or 41 chapters, and then over 18,000 members. And then we have 3 major events, national events. One of that is every May we went to the Washington, D.C. to talk about some policy changes for the Asians. And the first thing we work on is during that time, and in 2008, I think it's Frank Dodd, you heard that because of a bad loan situation, and then Asian has a difficult to present all the paperwork. So we propose a thin paper, utility bill instead of the credit score, and then this kind of thing to help the Asian community. And also a lot of foreclosure process. They found quite a few Asian, they couldn't afford to pay the mortgage, but they don't know how to resolve the problem. They don't even ask for help. They don't even go to, or even that time we have some help. So we say we should help you to have a language helpline in all Asian languages to tell these people actually they can get some financial aid and to prevent the foreclosure. And then and actually Asian have a very few default rate, and even when they default they just leave quietly because they just feel shame. They couldn't keep their promise, but they leave the house in a very good condition and then leave just quietly. So that's some sad story on that. So we try to help on that. And then we found out there's one thing that's not unfair to Asian is during the census there's a category about classify Asian as others. Others means the Native Indian, Alaskan, or whatever. So in that category, so we just feel that we should be treated like African, Hispanic, and Asian, because if we don't have that category, there's a lot of government subsidized program. They wouldn't give you a portion. They just say, give to African American, Hispanic, and others. So others will, and the Asian will be part of that, So that's why we went to the legislature, and then we went to the, normally what we do is we have 200 or 300 people just be there, and then we contact our own legislature. For instance, if I from Houston, I'll go to my congressman and say, Al Green, then we just say, well, we'll bring this issue, I hope you can help us, right? And then all the other people do the same thing, the senator or the congressman. So, and then luckily, eventually we changed that, So that's something I think, instead of complain during our local media to our local community, we should reach out and find out who can help us, right? And then if there's it's a policy change, you have to go to the lawmakers because they have the power to change that, And I think that's a good lesson, and I hope the other organization can help to do that. Asian Real Estate Association, they are just a trade organization. They are not like other political organizations, but they prove that we can do it, and then you can work together.
You've also spoken quite extensively about the importance to not just focus on your own community, but also a wider Asian mindset, Asian framework.
Yes.
What do you think is how would you describe the importance of that kind of solidarity? And also, what have been your experiences in trying to drum up support for, again, a pan-Asian approach as opposed to just a more divided one?
I think, most Asian, they move in since the 80s. So right now we are in a stages how we're gonna pass the torch from the older generation to the younger generation. When I say that is, I have friends in all the communities. When we sit together, one of the most common comments is, how can we get the young people involved, right? So first of all, we have speak in English. If you speak in your own mother tongue, the younger generation may be able to understand, but it's not their first language. And also we try to not a role model, because people always think in Chinese community is very united. Actually, we're very divided, just like every other community, right? And because people from different provinces or different region, it cannot be united. But united together is we have a power, and then it must have a common goal. Like we endorse an Asian candidates, if he can become a congressman or become a councilman, whatever, and then hopefully he will be really care about our community. It's one thing. And you have to reach out, you have to reach to the right person, because some people, they don't want to change, and some people, they say, I won't give a try, right? Especially nowadays, how do you get the young people involved? You have to let it go, you have to you have to let them to be part of it. It's not an easy job, but so I start with this real estate organization. I'm very diversified. I choose people from Chinese community, Vietnamese community, Korean community. They are young, and then they are aggressive, and then wish that they can become the future leader of their community. Would that work? I don't know, but at least I think that's a good model. And then you have to give them a chance to be a leader, and then train them to be a leader. If you don't give them a chance, they have to wait, and they don't have patience to wait. Yeah.
And on that note, do you have any pointed advice for the next generation of Asians or Asian Americans looking to participate in business or local government?
Yeah, I think it's not easy to get the people who were born here and educated here, because American is their own heritage. Only a very few percentage will really understand, their last generation heritage. I start with maybe as the generation they came here when they are very young, and then they still understand some their own mother language. They can communicate with the old generation, and then try to how should you say that? Well, sometimes it's not easy to find the leaders, because when you say leader, actually people say they're stupid because they have to volunteer themselves, sacrifice a lot of their time, and then try to do something for the public, for the community, and sometimes no reward. You just feel you have a passion to do that. very few people want to do that. Yeah. But as long as you can find those people, and you have to try your best to support them, and then maybe it will pass to the generations. Yeah. And I think that's what we want to do, to influence more young people, and then especially their parents. You know, I have a lot of parents. They want me to train their kids to be more involved with community thing, and you know, I'll be glad to do that. But so far, I can't even convince my son to do that. But I think, you know, that be my future goal, is to encourage more people to vote, to encourage more people to run the campaign, and then you know, to have more younger generation to get involved with these community organizations. Yeah, and that will keep our community better. Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to add?
No.
Not really.
I think we're done.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Yeah.